Hi, guys. Just a quick disclaimer. We do talk a little bit about Santa and his magic on this episode. So if you have any little ears listening, maybe put some headphones in. Now let's get into the episode. Enjoy. Rise and shine. It's time for D. It's for drama.
Christmas.
At Christmas. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year.
And
Say
if you know
the-
the Santa Joe, he'll bring you lots of cheer. I think that's the
Santa
song, right?
Joe,
Santa
yeah.
Joe.
Good old Santa Joe. That's what they call him.
That's what they call him, Santa Joe. He's a terrible man. Forgets to bring you the presents you want. As for Legos, I didn't get a single one.
Well, we are going to do a little mini episode for Christmas because today is Christmas Eve.
That's nice.
So I'm sure you guys are all busy with your families. I know not everyone celebrates, so hopefully this brings you a little joy while everyone else is getting visited by Santa Joe.
Now I'm picturing Joe Biden in a Santa Claus outfit. Yeah, God, what do you want? You want table tennis? You want a ping pong set?
Yeah, I want a ping pong set, Grandpa.
You can't have it. I
not?
forgot it. I forgot it back at the North Pole.
Why are you always forgetting things, Grandpa?
I'm 180 years old. Haven't done my Joe Biden in a while. It's a little rusty.
Oh, it's good. Well, you have a little story.
Little Christmas tale. Little Christmas conflict.
What's going on over
at the Nell Davis household?
Yeah, tell me.
All right. I want to go on record before I start this. I love Christmas decor. I love the lights. I love the twinkles. I even like a wreath. I don't go crazy with the wreaths, but I like a couple of wreaths here. But the point is,
more than one.
just the one on the front door. That's
okay,
enough.
okay,
Let's
okay.
not get
Good,
crazy.
Good. Let's not.
Jakey, my lovely partner, she adores Christmas decor, and who can blame her? And we both like to nest, so this is usually not a point of contention for us. The only thing that has become an issue over the last few years is the Christmas tree. We have a lovely apartment, but it's not our setup. There's no obvious place to put a Christmas tree, right? So it's always kind of in the way a little bit. And we've had this same fake Christmas tree. I think it's maybe 4 feet tall, maybe a little bit more. So it's not an absurd size.
Yeah.
It fits in our house. The issue is we have 2 cats who I love dearly. Best, and no offense to your cats, my opinion, best cats in the world. It's a fact. Gigi and Sissy.
Sissy.
And when it was just Sissy would like inspect the Christmas tree. You know, she would kind of rub on it, do that thing cats do with pokey stuff, and just kind of like rub her cheeks on it and stuff, but never get too into the business. Gigi, on the other hand, little Christmas demon. She declared war on Christmas. You know,
she's just a demon in general.
She is a perfect baby demon. Thank you very much. And she has never done anything wrong in her whole life.
Never.
And I will defend her till the day I die.
Mm-hmm. She's Jake's baby.
I'm very attached to that little kitty. Anyway, she decided ever since she was a kitten, anytime that Christmas tree went up, it's for her. And she's not wrong, because if you look at a Christmas tree, it's the ultimate cat toy.
It really is.
It's a big triangle with pokey, scratchy stuff covered in glittering lights and then decorated with cat toys.
Yeah.
So to her, it's just a piñata that she can shake and cat toys fall out of it. And she will launch herself at this thing. And the way that fake Christmas trees are with like the branches that fold down or whatever, they don't support a lot of weight. So she'll just bust those things. They'll just like break and no longer hold up straight.
Oh, okay.
After 1 year of Gigi and this Christmas tree being in the house, it was already ragged. Then a second year goes by. It looks even more busted. Third year comes around.
Forget about it.
This is the third year now. We got it out of the box. We didn't have it fully set up yet. It was just kind of there. And the cats had been investigating it, but we weren't paying too much attention to it. And as we're setting it up proper, the cord had been chewed through on one of the cats, by one of the cats, which, like, thank God it wasn't plugged in, because we were talking about Christmas Vacation on the previous episode I was on. A cat electrocutes themselves chewing through a Christmas tree cord on that. So
did they die?
It's one of the first time I saw that scene, I busted up. All you see is like the cat. You hear a cat screaming and a bright shining light from underneath the couch, and then they move the couch and it's just like a burned hole in the ground in the shape of a cat.
No.
It's so funny. I know it sounds grim, but like you gotta watch
really
Christmas
happen,
Vacation.
though?
I mean, I doubt it would happen in that fashion. Maybe the cat gets shocked a little bit, but I don't think it would light them up like that. But anyway, the cord has been chewed through, and the tree, we tried fixing, we tried electrical tape, all that, and it didn't go. The tree looks busted as hell anyway.
Mhm.
And Jakey just sighs and says, okay, I'll go to Target and get another one.
Hold on.
Y'all, I yes and that woman with all my heart, frequently and often. And I had to give her a hold the phone. What do you think is going to happen to the next Christmas tree? And I made my case. The cats are just going to do the same thing they did to this one. We are figuring
Mhm.
out alternatives to a Christmas tree at this point. I don't know what that looks like. I like a Christmas cactus. I think that's fun. And I don't
Yes.
think the cats will
They
bother
will
it as much.
definitely not go near
They'll
that
leave that one
thing.
alone.
Now, is it a real cactus though, or
That
fake?
one I think could be a real cactus. I'd be
But then you'd
fine
have
with.
to take care of it year round.
Well, yeah, but it's a cactus. It's like you water them; they're fine.
I
We
have a
already
hard
have
time
plants.
keeping anything alive.
Just anything in
Yeah.
general. I think you've been right this whole time. Pet ownership is not for you.
It is not.
So we're currently at an impasse, and I do like my point of contention here is like when we have a place where there's an obvious good spot to get a nice Christmas tree and do it every year, then we can figure out a way to keep the cats from attacking it. But
Mm.
there's no way they're not going to destroy this thing every
No.
year. It's going to keep happening.
Of
So
course.
until we figure that out, I just feel like it's terrible for the environment that we're just going to go through fake Christmas trees on our
yeah,
cats'
you can't
time.
do that. Because I have heard that getting a fake Christmas tree, like a used one, is better for the environment than like getting a real one every time. Because I think everyone was always like, "Oh, get like the plastic ones or whatever." But there's so many out there that
Right.
you could just like get a used one, going to Target every year and getting a new one and letting your
Because the cats broke
Now,
it.
what about getting a real one and letting them kind of mess up that
I think
one?
that's just going to be a bigger mess because they're still going to jump into that. So, and now the cats have sap all over them.
Oh, is there sap on
There's
Christmas
sap
trees?
on Christmas trees.
Yeah,
there's-
then there's sap all over the house.
And you get like the fake pine needles on fake Christmas trees do fall off or whatever, but I've seen what those real Christmas trees do after a while. They start shedding, and those pine needles are sharp and they're tough to pick up and everything. So
Yeah.
I feel like I'm talking myself out of Christmas trees right now. I might be fooling myself in thinking that I want anything to do with these.
Look, we are getting our first Christmas tree this year because we are hosting, and I am just not a decorator. I don't get into the spirit. Oh, I sound like a goddamn curmudgeon.
A bit of a Grinch.
I do not get into the spirit of any holiday, really. I like the day of, like, I love Halloween. I love dressing up. I love going to parties. And I love Christmas Day and Christmas Eve. But I'm just not really one of those people that like watches any Halloween or Christmas movies. I can't be bothered to decorate. Like, it just seems like more on my plate.
I think I always assumed that you were a decorator just because of your sense of fashion. I feel like that usually goes hand in hand, so that's interesting.
Now, I like decorating my apartment. It's very cluttered right now, but I do like decorating. But for some reason, just the thought of like having to get the process of it and then taking it down, it just seems like one more thing on my plate that I just don't want to do.
We were talking about it before we recorded, but it's always about how long the decor is going to last for me. Like for Halloween decorations, I don't mind as much because you kind of have carte blanche whenever you want to start that. Once you're past Labor Day, you're not a psycho if you put up Halloween. So as long as like we're talking early September until the end of October, fine with Halloween decorations. Then for Christmas, I need it going up the week of Thanksgiving, and it's coming down the second we hit New Year's Day.
Yeah.
But if we go any shorter than that, I'm with you. It's too much. It's too much
Like,
effort for too little reward. Yeah.
But also, I think a lot of people do have very strong opinions about doing it before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Some people get really upset about that. I don't really care either way because I don't partake.
Week of Thanksgiving is fine for me because then it makes Thanksgiving feel more important.
Yeah, but then I think it is actually kind of annoying when it's like right after Halloween, everything goes off because it's like, what the hell? What about Thanksgiving?
I mean, now you walk into Michael's after Labor Day, Christmas is already there.
Oh,
Halloween barely
God.
has moments to shine.
It's too much, you guys. I have
Too
to agree
much!
there.
Cancel them all.
Cancel them all. No, we love them.
We're back.
Presents.
There's people screaming at their listening
they're so
devices right now. They were already mad when I said fake Christmas tree. People who are diehards for real Christmas tree kind of drive me up a wall. Like, no, I need a dead plant in my living room and I need to decorate it with shiny bits and bobs.
It gives a little snobbish to me, I'd say.
It's just why is this so? Why does it need to be like it's dead, y'all? You're hydrating a corpse.
Yeah, it's kind of grim if you think about it.
That's a Halloween decoration. Yeah, this
Yeah.
dead tree that we dressed up to make look pretty.
Oh, and then he has to be there with all of your real plants?
Oh,
You're
wow.
gonna
That's
traumatize your real
Oh, you're
plants.
sending a message to the real ones.
Oh, yeah.
Stay in line
Yeah,
or we'll
keep
gussy
acting
up.
up. You're out of here, and
You hear that?
we'll decorate you while we're at it.
I'm talking to you two.
Yeah, you hear it? Oh, they need a little watering, I think.
Yeah, that one looks like it's
Yeah,
on its
little
way
dad.
out, actually.
Shit. I told you I'm not good at taking care of
That
things.
plant's just like,
Please.
put me out of my misery.
He's gonna be jealous of the dead
She
Christmas tree.
waters me with Dr. Pepper. That's how you do it.
Saw you. All right. Well, yeah. I'm fine with whatever anyone wants to do, okay?
A holiday shrub. Call it a
Yeah.
day.
Exactly. That's actually what I had to do last year because we impromptu did have to host my parents because we were supposed to go to their house, but then my car like broke down or
Mm.
something, and I took a plant that I have upstairs that's pretty tall and wrapped lights around it and put some little
Same
ornaments
thing.
on it. I'm like, why not? It's a California Christmas. Now I did do a poll
Oh, boy.
yesterday, and it's about Santa Joe. Here
Santa
comes
Joe.
Santa
I'll stop.
Joe. Here comes Santa Joe. Right down Santa Joe Lane. How old were you when you found out Santa wasn't real?
Okay. This is a twofold answer for me. I found out Santa wasn't real when I was like 7. I wasn't told by my parents that Santa wasn't real until I was 10.
Oh.
So I had that on them for 3 years. I knew.
Wow.
And I basically, in my little kid brain, was just quietly like a spurned wife, knowing that the affair was going on, but holding the cards
For
until the moment
3.
where the honesty came out. And part of it was a strategic play for me where I kind of knew I'm going to get better presents if they think I don't know about this whole Santa, because they want to magic or whatever.
Yeah. Keep
But
the
kids at
magic
school told me.
alive.
I did have to be told. I didn't figure it out on my own.
Oh, they told you.
They told, and like
Those
it was,
assholes.
but it was sort of that trust you have in your parents. Just like, well, my parents say it's real, so whatever. But once somebody told it to me, it was just like, oh yeah, shit, sleighs can't fly. It's like that.
know.
Yeah, suddenly that makes all the sense in
But
the world.
It's one of those things where it's like when you want to believe something, like you'll believe anything.
Right. But it was something that I just kind of came to accept sooner than my parents thought I did. And I don't think my parents would even know this, or at least I don't think my mom knows that this happened. Because when they told me, and I'd been waiting for this moment, I knew what I wanted to say immediately, even at a young age. I just straightened my back up and said, liars.
You did.
It was actually kind of a powerful moment because it established that I knew that you guys can lie. And I didn't really care that they were, quote, lying to me.
Yeah.
But I just wanted them to know, like, I wanted them to think that I didn't know and be able to just call out of like, I know you can lie now.
I got your
the
number,
trust
buddy.
is broken. And it was funny
Wow.
that they also decided to levy like Easter Bunny and Tooth Fairy too. Like those aren't wildly more absurd things to convince you, particularly the Tooth Fairy. What's crazier, the Tooth Fairy or the Easter Bunny?
I think the Easter Bunny takes the cake in my opinion.
Yeah, because the eggs,
a giant bunny
hopping
around your house with like, why? How did he get in? There was never like a chimney thing for him.
We did the eggs in the backyard, so that at least
we had it in the
always
house.
Oh my god!
And then a bunny's laying eggs.
That was always so. That even as a kid, I was trying to reckon of like, I don't think he's laying the eggs. I don't think that the Easter Bunny is
What did you think? Oh, he just had them in a basket.
He had somebody else for that. Like the Easter chickens were back at
chicken.
headquarters. I don't know how he carried all of them in that basket unless it.
He just like poisoned the chickens, so then they came out all colorful and
now he was the Easter Bunny's Monsanto.
Yeah,
it's big. Yeah, big agriculture is actually headed up by the Easter Bunny. Short answer: I was 7 when I was told. I was 10 when it was made official.
So
in
they
the
did
household.
sit you down.
They did eventually tell me, and it was actually while we were on vacation in Mexico, which was, I think, a bold choice.
Why did they do that?
I don't know. My biological dad and my mom had a very weird relationship there near the end, so who knows why they did anything.
What month was it?
It was right around Easter, actually. So I think that might have been. They might have figured out like, shit, we didn't get any Easter eggs He's
Let's
gonna
just
find
tell
out.
him.
Let's just tell him. And it's just like, yeah, man, I know the Easter Bunny's not fucking real.
Yeah, I know you're a goddamn liar. What else are you lying
Well,
about?
yeah, that you still love each other. That one, yes, 100%. Merry Christmas, kids.
Yeah, let's just lay it all out right now. Get it all out there. And we're getting a divorce too, okay? Enjoy that.
How old were you?
I think I was 12.
Okay, wow.
Which is
Oh,
quite
you
old.
lasted. Okay. You wanted to believe, huh?
I wanted to believe so. Oh, I loved it. It was my favorite thing ever.
It's more fun that way, for sure.
Totally. But the way I found out was my neighbors, who I've talked about in the past. We lived right next door to them. They had a daughter my sister's age and a son my age, and we were all like best friends. And our parents were really close, and we would just, go over to their house, no knocking, whatever, very close. We were born the same year, but I was a grade above my friend Petey, but I was way taller than him. So, and I was always the height of the older girls.
Got it.
So I think a lot of people always thought I was older than I was. And I mean, she knew how old I was, but I guess because I was a grade older and whatever. So we were over their house and it was Easter and they were, getting ready. It was going to be like the next day or something. And Petey says something about the Easter bunny and then goes running up the stairs really excited. And then his mom, Tara, and Dawn, the sister, are standing there. And Tara turns to us and goes, Petey still believes in the Easter bunny. And I was like, oh. And Tara's like, wait, you don't believe, do you? And I was like, oh, well, I thought maybe he wasn't, but I wasn't sure. And then Dawn's like, oh, no, he's real. He's real. And then I go
The
next.
facade had been revealed.
Literally, it was like I became a woman in that exact moment.
Oh, that's when childhood died, huh?
It truly died right then and there. And so I remember going over to my house and my mom was driving me to Maddie's house. And I asked her, I was like, well, Tara just told me that the Easter bunny, she basically just told me the Easter bunny wasn't real. Is that true? What about the tooth fairy? And what about Santa? And then, so it all came out. But there definitely was a part of me that felt like very mature after that. And I did feel yes, it was a little bit, it was definitely heartbreaking, but I wasn't crying or anything. I just was like, I'm an adult now. And I remember going over to Maddie's and I guess she had already known or something. Cause then I sort of I was asking in a way where it was she had a little brother and I think I asked maybe something about him and Santa or something. And then I realized, oh shit, she knows too. So I was like, damn,
you were out of the loop.
Oh, what the hell? Was everyone just no one told Shannon. She still believes she's 5'10" and she still believes in the Easter bunny.
Did you ever have those moments as a kid where you thought it was time for you to start doing something that adults do? You're growing up and it's just okay, I need I don't know, did you start reading the newspaper because you thought it was the grown-up thing to do?
I don't know. My sister was like this too. We just loved being kids so much that we did not want to grow up. And we were watching Disney and Nickelodeon until literally until the day we left for college. We were just we loved being kids.
I think that actually media consumption like that. I think I didn't realize because I graduated, quote, fingers to Comedy Central, I think right around 6th grade. That was, but I would still dip into whatever was happening on Nickelodeon or whatever. And then I think I was completely out of it by the time high school started. But I've learned from a lot of people that I've grown up with that they didn't stop watching Nick or Disney until they got later into high school.
Yeah.
Like you're describing. So that's I think a little bit more normal than it seems. I just remember when I was 4 or 5 years old, for some reason I thought age corresponded to what channel of television you were allowed to watch. So I started watching the evening news with my parents when I turned 4 because I was like, it's a channel 4 news. I have to be watching because I'm 4. So this is the channel that I'm allowed to watch as a 4-year-old.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
I don't remember how my parents handled me sharing that information. I think they were just well, Law and Order comes on next, so that's absolutely not true.
You really rolled with that one.
I was definitely watching Frasier by 5 years old. That was
it was on Channel 5.
Yeah,
you had to. That's so cute. Well, these were the results.
Okay.
So how old were you when you found out? 5% said 1 to 5 years old. That's so
Damn.
young.
Yeah,
The
that's cruel.
magic. That sucks. 6 to 10 was the winner. 62%. Most people found out in that age. 11 or older was 24%. Shout out. And then 10% said I never believed. So I don't know if that was like either they just thought it was bullshit from like we're sniffing it out from the
Mhm.
beginning, or like just religiously or culturally they didn't celebrate. But then I said, how did you find out? And someone said my parents finally told me. That was 12%. Friend slash sibling slash classmate, that was 30%.
Okay.
Parents made a mistake, so I figured it out. That was
Mm,
42%. So that was the winner. I always knew it was fake, 16%.
okay.
So again, with that last one, I'm not sure if it was because they were just like, I
Would
smell
you
bullshit.
I think I know the answer to this for you. Would you perpetuate the lie for your kids?
Well, that was my next
Oh, fantastic.
poll.
Great. I'm a step ahead.
Yeah, way to lead us in. Of course I
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
Of course. I love the magic of it. I personally, once I found out, I definitely never felt like my parents were lying to me. It was just something that is done. Like
Sure.
the Christmas magic, it's not like specifically my parents, you were the ones that lied to me. It's just like, oh, it's like a fun little thing to keep the magic alive. Like I think I
Yeah.
understood the good intentions
Sure.
about it. I know you're not going to have children.
Well, and
but
it's kind of like this is confirmation for me that I shouldn't have kids.
yeah.
Because I don't think I would keep this going.
Yeah,
for them.
I didn't think you would.
And it's nothing that I don't have anything against parents who do. I don't think it's wrong to let kids believe in Santa. I can see why it's fun or whatever. I think that there's part of me that feels that growing up without Santa Claus in the mix, it just sort of gives your kid more of a perspective about what goes into the holiday for everybody and all that. But also, like, I haven't put that much thought into it because it's just
You're
not
not
something
gonna
I
have
plan
kids,
on
yeah.
doing.
But yeah, it's like more about maybe like, the act of giving gifts and receiving and, like showing care instead of like showing care and love and appreciation for your loved ones instead of just like, oh, you just get gifts.
And there's
And I
probably a way to thread the needle and get both of
do
those things
both.
across
And
at
I
the same
think that my
time.
parents did a good job about that. But I do also think, and look, I might partake in this when I'm a parent too, but because it can be funny. But I do think sometimes people like weaponize it a little bit too much. And they're like, well, you better behave or Santa's not
Can we
gonna.
talk about Elf on a Shelf?
Oh,
I hate that shit.
yeah.
I do. Hey, if you're watching this clip, right down the barrel, you do Elf on a Shelf, you're messed up in the head.
Wait, why?
First of all, you're teaching your kids to be subservient to Big Brother. You're teaching them that somebody's always watching and you need to behave well, or else that person that's always watching you is going to report you. They're going to narc. So you're raising little snitches. You're raising little
Wait.
McDonald's employees.
Wait, because what is it?
It is a, first of all, it is a sold copyrighted product. It's like you buy the official elf on a shelf,
Yeah.
and then you tell your kids, you move the elf around every time, and that's part of the fun. The fun is that the elf is moving around the house and you never know where you're going to find him.
Yeah.
That's horrifying. There's a little dude that's now in our house and you're not allowed to touch him. That's a big thing. If the kid touches the elf, you're in big trouble. So you're introducing this rogue little man that is just in your house and watching, never moving.
To see if you're behaving?
To see if you're behaving, reporting back to Santa.
He's a little narc.
He's a little snitch. He's a little bootlicker. And I don't like it. I don't support it. I will challenge you in front of your kids on this.
Oh, I would have loved that.
Oh my God, I bet you would.
I think it's so fun. And I would have loved that as a kid. Like, why wasn't it around when we were kids?
I think it has been.
But,
I think that it's just.
But it's bigger now.
I think it's gotten much more popular.
But I
recently.
think it's so fun because it's like for the 25 days of Christmas, right? And then you go down, you're like, where is it now?
That's how it's pitched. But I know how I was as a kid, and if you just introduced a little motherfucker into the house that's like, you can't touch him, he's reporting you. He's reporting.
You're like, I'm an only child, bitch. There ain't no room for nobody else here. Okay,
you know what? Look, hey kids, if you're listening, you shouldn't be. But if you are, you don't have to touch the elf. You can just throw sheets over him. You're not touching him. The sheet's touching him. Now he can't see. Of course, now you're gonna make him mad.
What's
he gonna do?
Well, he's gonna tell Santa.
He's gonna tell Santa. He might take matters into his own hands. go rogue.
Oh, I didn't even think about that because it's like a scary doll.
That's the thing.
It's like
It's
Chucky.
Chucky. Like dolls are terrifying.
Actually, now that I think about it, maybe I would have been afraid of it as a kid.
It's if you also like look at the official Elf on the Shelf, he's got this
Just
shitty
look.
this little
Shit-eating
mm,
grin. Let's look
mm.
at him.
Uh,
Oh, also, I should put a disclaimer on the beginning of this episode. For anybody that has children, maybe don't play this episode out loud
you
because I don't want
shouldn't
to
be
ruin
doing that.
it.
You shouldn't be doing that with anything she makes.
Oh yeah, don't let your kids listen to this anyway. There's an explicit rating for a reason. Okay. Okay, let's see this elf on a shelf grin.
I hate this thing.
Oh, I guess so. Oh yeah, he's got a little
rat.
Oh, but he's so cute.
I hard disagree.
Well, I'm going to be doing it. And I can send my kids to you once they know that this isn't real and they can be like, Uncle Jake.
I'm going to be Uncle Jake. That's very
my
exciting.
mom do that?
I tried Bartholomew. I tried to save you from that fate. Bartholomew. I don't know what you're going to name your kid.
Could be on the list. You never know. All right. Well, did I give the polls? So 66% said yes, they would partake, and 9% said no. And then 25% said that they were just here to see what the answers were because they're not a parent or don't want to become a parent.
I think it's definitely more fun to keep the Santa thing going, but I think also too with like tablet kids at this point, like how long before they just Google it themselves?
That's true.
I feel like you just have a
that's why I think that's another reason to be like it's fun to keep that magic alive and keep them in reality. Otherwise, they're just like bored on their freaking tablet.
Yeah. Oh, Santa is what's going to keep the kids off the tablets.
Yes.
That's what's going to turn it around.
Them just like Googling every single toy that they want. They're just like on Amazon all day. My sister, though, she found out because my parents made a little fumble.
Oh.
So this is what happened. She wanted to buy me a Barbie, like for Christmas as her present. So she told my mom, "Oh, I want to get her this specific Barbie," and my mom had already gotten it for me. And so she said, "Oh no, I already got it for her." The day of Christmas, I open it up, and my parents would get us presents from Santa, and then they would also sign some of the presents from them. Okay. So it wasn't all just from Santa. I don't know if most people do that or not.
Yes, I vaguely
like some
remember.
Were from your parents.
Some would like a couple would be from my parents, and then the rest were
from Santa.
Yeah.
I think they would kind of do like maybe 2/3, 1/3 or something.
I did start peppering them with questions about Santa, about like, well, how'd Santa get officially licensed Legos?
Yeah.
Does he have a permit from the Lego company?
Does he have a brand deal?
Yeah.
Well, actually, the movie The Santa Claus with Tim Allen really helped my parents, like with all the questions.
Okay.
Because they would have little ways of like if there wasn't a chimney and you just had like a radiator, like it would open up into a chimney.
Yeah, they addressed a lot of
some questions. And so my parents always said like that really saved them. But so then the day of Christmas, I opened up the present and it was marked that it was from Santa. So my sister was like, "Oh, they're Santa."
Yeah.
So, but she also didn't tell anyone for years. And then once I found out, then it came out in the open. But by then she was like 14. So hopefully she told them earlier than that.
In the gap years between me finding out and my parents telling me officially, I found the present stat. I wasn't even looking for it. I just accidentally found it in the back of a closet or something.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what my reaction was, but I feel like internally it was like a sneer of just like the facade continues.
Yeah.
Fools.
Oh, he was hurt.
I think I was more just kind of like, I don't know. I don't think it's fair to say I was hurt. It was more of just that like realization of just like, oh, so they can lie to me.
Oh.
Good to know.
Good to know. I'll remember that. All right. So shall we do one little cute story?
One little Christmas story.
My boyfriend and I have been dating a few months, and he invited me to meet his family for the first time for Christmas dinner. According to him, it's his brother's, he has 3, family tradition to make new partners wear an ugly Christmas sweater of their choosing as a rite of passage to enter the family. At first, I thought the concept was cute. I had imagined things like Santa getting stuck in a chimney, lights, bells, etc. But when they mailed me the sweater, my jaw dropped. It was probably the most vulgar Christmas sweater I've seen. Without getting into it, let's just say Santa was making gestures and participating in an act that was not okay for children to see. I personally thought it was gross, and it was bad enough that if someone at work saw me wear it, I'd definitely get in trouble. I told my boyfriend that in no way would I wear this, and he said I was being a wet blanket and unsupportive of his family tradition. I said I'd wear any other sweater and would even pay for one myself, but he was just calling me a spoiled sport. I do love my boyfriend, so I actually considered wearing it and asking people to not take photos as a compromise. But the day of the party, I decided to not wear it last minute. I had to drive separately from work, so my boyfriend didn't know about this prior. When his brother opened the door, he eyed me up and down, and I could tell he wasn't happy I didn't wear the sweater. My boyfriend was really pissed when he saw me, and we argued in the guest room for a little bit. His brothers teased me for being uptight, and I could tell the jokes embarrassed my boyfriend. I ended up leaving the party early without my boyfriend, and we've been fighting via text since.
I was so ready. I was so ready to be like, ah, another Grinch, a Scrooge, not
Yes.
participating in fun. This is a psychotic tradition.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Only the new person wears the ugly sweater. That's
That's like singling them
I
out.
thought they all wore ugly
Yes.
sweaters, and that was the point. Oh, that's
Like
delightful.
the
I don't
sweater
even
I'm wearing right now is my
it's
grandmother's sweater. And this would, this could be entered into an ugly sweater contest.
sure. I think it's delightful
It is
personally.
delightful.
I've seen much uglier Christmas sweaters.
Yes. But you'd think it was like something like this, and it's just like a funny joke that they're like wearing, like, a silly sweater to dinner. Even if not all of them were wearing one, and they did have this tradition where like it was the rite of passage and it was just wearing something, like this or potentially uglier and sillier, I would be like, okay, whatever. But like to a sexual, crude, to
See,
a
okay.
family dinner?
Okay, so I will say this part. I don't know what job you have, but the idea that you would get in trouble unless you work at like a school or a church. What
Hmm.
job are you getting in trouble at for wearing a Christmas sweater to a family dinner? You don't have to because she said she would get in trouble if anyone at work saw her wearing it. How would
Oh.
anyone at work see her wearing it and like where do you work? That sounds crazy to me.
Yeah, but it must be that she's like a teacher or
Okay, I'll
something.
take it. I'll take that
Because
as
they
it
have to
is.
be very private. Like all of my friends that are teachers all have
Sure.
private Instagrams, and they also like only share stories to like close friends.
Yeah.
And I have some other friends that are like in some corporate world that,
I'll take that as it is, and it's not really the matter at hand.
yeah.
The part that is like the vulgar part of it, it is kind of to me is like if everybody else was wearing Christmas sweaters. I mean, maybe it's just against your personal taste or whatever. It's kind of like no, it is where I'm kind of like, come on, it's not that big of a deal. But I'm also
The
probably not on
vulgar
yeah,
one.
I'm probably not on the same wavelength as a lot of people about vulgarity and like what that means. But
Yeah, that's true. I think that I think that I would probably, if this is a family tradition and they all do it, and it wouldn't be weird, like his parents wouldn't think it's weird because he doesn't mention the parents at all. So I'm almost wondering, if is it a family dinner or is it just the brothers
I assumed a family dinner, and
to
that's
meet
the part of it where
his,
it's like I don't want to
oh,
join a
Christmas
family
dinner?
that does hazing. Like, that's what this
Yeah.
is, and it's if you all wore ugly Christmas sweaters and everyone was allowed to pick their own ugly Christmas sweater, that's fun. I
Yeah.
like that idea. What I don't like is you all not having to do it, and it's just people. How many partners are coming through on these Christmases? Like how many different like it feels like they're cycling through a lot of
A lot of
girlfriends.
partners.
Yeah, girlfriends and partners
Yeah, I
of
guess there's 3 boys though. 3
yeah, so
brothers. Oh, no, 4, 4.
how many women or men have been pulled through this grinder of like you got to look like an idiot at Christmas dinner. It's how we know you're
Well, no one
cool.
else has to do it.
That's the part where you lose me. And then the fact that when she said of their choosing, I thought the their meant her or whoever the
Hers.
partner
Yeah, because
was.
then that would be
But
fun.
it's them choosing the sweater. That's where the vulgar thing is a little like to me because it's like, what is Santa like? Is somebody like sucking off Santa Claus or something? Like what?
Yeah,
It's
making some kind
so
of
even though
gesture.
I think that my sensibilities on vulgarity is probably a lot looser than many people, I can kind of understand why being forced to wear something that you don't feel comfortable with is really invalidating.
I also think it would be fun if it was the girlfriend's choice of what sweater to wear, because then it would be like if they, wanted to do it where they were just singling her out, because then she shows up and she's like, haha, everyone, like, look at the funny sweater I chose. And everyone's like, oh, that's such a good one,
Yeah, it's a form of self-expression that way.
Right. Cause then it's like what you would choose and what you think is an ugly sweater kind of thing. And
Hmm.
then it could be like, I guess, a cute white rite of passage or something. But it's like we have to like parade you around like you're a clown.
That is kind of what it is. It's kind of mocking you. It's hazing. You're embarrassing somebody to establish the order of where they're at in the house, so that when
Mm.
they're accepted, you've already been humiliated by them.
Yeah, and I don't think, like, consciously they're understanding that, but it's what subconsciously is
Yeah,
happening.
it's and then I think also the response from all of them to not they're the ones who I think are being kind of weak about this, where it's like, okay, she didn't want to do it. Leave it alone.
Yeah,
Like, that's fine. She's an adult. We can't make her do things.
and he had to pull her into the guest room to talk
Oh my
about it and
God.
fight about it, and then
Run.
she ended up leaving,
Run. That's the part where it's just like you guys are arguing about this at Christmas. Like this isn't going
and
anywhere.
the brothers teased him for being uptight. I would be like, "Okay, red flag, red flag, red flag.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. Like, fuck this." And where are the parents in this situation?
They're dead.
Oh, it's just the
They killed them
brothers.
with the ugly Christmas
Yeah.
sweaters.
They
No,
died of humiliation.
yeah, it doesn't it feels mean spirited. It feels like it's intentionally designed to make you feel like an other before you're accepted as one of them. And
Mhm.
I also just don't like groups that have the attitude of like, well, you've got to win us over. It's like, hey, I'm meeting you two for the first time. You have to
Right.
win me over.
Exactly.
I don't like families that do that power play thing of just like, well, let's see if we like you first. And it's like,
Yes.
we should all want to impress each other.
Yeah, you should want me to like you too, because I could potentially be someone that's in your life for the rest of your life, and why wouldn't you want to have a good relationship with me?
Yeah.
Well, we have an update, mister.
Oh, hey
Yeah.
now.
I really appreciate everyone who took the time to message me. After reading comments, I really thought long and hard about my boyfriend's family and whether or not I wanted to be with a partner who wouldn't respect my boundaries. We got in one final fight when he nagged me to apologize to his brothers all separately. Okay. I told him that if he wore the sweater that they bought me for our friend's miss party, about 20 attendees, then I'd apologize. He immediately freaked and said no and tried to argue that they wouldn't understand because it's not their tradition. I explained that it had nothing to do with tradition, but rather my personal comfort level and whether or not the sweater was an appropriate article of clothing. I asked him why he felt uncomfortable wearing the sweater in front of friends, and he refused to answer. He froze up, and that's when I realized it wasn't going to work out. He knew that it was inappropriate, and he himself refused to wear it in public. Yet he was too stubborn to apologize and be on my side. I told him it wasn't going to work out, so I guess I'm going into the new year as single as a Pringle. A few friends found out about the breakup, sent them the photo of the sweater, and explained what happened. I'm also glad to know that even people IRL were grossed out. I don't know what will happen with his friendships with those people, but it's none of my business at this point. Thanks, guys, and happy holidays.
Yeah, you're 100% in the right on this. That's a great kind of way to sort of point out how not fun this is.
Yeah. Turn
Oh,
it
this great
around.
tradition that you all do. You don't want to share that holiday cheer with people in your social circle. You don't want to do it. And that's the part I can't get over, that it's only newcomers to this family that are
Yeah.
subjugated to this.
Turn it right around on him. And the fact that he didn't want to do it should have, even if he didn't get it before, it should have clicked a light bulb for him, being like, oh yeah, this is this
Yeah,
is shitty.
this sounds like four very spoiled boys. It
Hmm.
sounds like I hate making these deep character reads on stuff like this, but it's very telling to me, not only that you do it in the first place, but how offended you are at the response, and then you fucking tagged him so clean with just, okay, you do it. You do it with people that are outside of this and tell me how fun it is.
And wanted them to he wanted her to apologize to them
One. One
separately.
on one. Like, this is not, you've been doing this for generations in your family. This is like when you all go out caroling or something. It's not like she refused to break the wishbone with grandma or some other innocuous tradition that just they ask
Yeah.
anybody to do.
Because
It's
then I'd be like, come
mean.
on. But this is definitely like a personal attack almost because
It's
you are othering her.
gosh. Well, I'm glad she's free now.
Now, I am thinking about it though. If this were to happen to you and Jackie wanted you to do this is your first time meeting them. Would you do it though?
I think I'm going to say yes, but there's an important caveat here.
Mhm.
I'm a very tall man who does not feel awkward easily. I can
Mhm.
usually make an awkward situation feel funny, and I might have objections to it that I would talk to her one on one about. I'm not roping in the rest of the family for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I might gauge the water and see, like, okay, how serious is this thing? I don't think that I think that because I'm somebody who doesn't really feel doesn't really feel pushed around easily. Like,
Mhm.
if you try to push me around, I can usually just turn it into a joke.
Mhm.
So in my particular case, I probably would just go with it, but I might also need to have some like talking points with Jackie after.
Yeah.
And then, that would kind of maybe set a tone in the relationship that wouldn't be great, but I know Jackie would also never make me do that, which is why we
Mhm.
function so wonderfully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that I think also too it really depends what the vulgar Christmas sweater was.
I
Like,
know, I'm
yeah, like if
dying
it's
to
Santa
know.
Claus like puking from drinking too much or something, I might be like, oh, that's a little crass. I'm
Yeah.
not terribly fond of this, but
Yeah, because it's potentially not sexual. I think I like always go to sexual because it says Santa was making gestures, participating in an act that was not okay. Participating in an act.
was Santa flying a plane into the South Tower? Because if it was a 9/11 Christmas sweater, then yeah, there's like that's a
Yeah.
loaded but
That's a whole other story.
if it's just like Santa Claus getting a tugger, I don't know. Well, no, now that I say it, I don't want to wear that
What?
sweater. Yeah, Santa's got to get his too. Puts in all
Oh
that work.
yeah. Wait, like a hand
Yeah,
job
that's yeah.
by Mrs. Claus?
That's maybe that's the
Or
vulgar
maybe
part.
that's
It's
maybe
not
he's
Mrs.
cheating on her.
Santa Claus. It's
Maybe
Frosty the
it's
Snowman.
yeah. Oh,
Oh, you're into that.
homoerotica.
You're into Frosty on Santa action.
Hey, I don't know. I'll think about that later. I think that I probably would do it, but I think I would be like,
It would cause a problem.
yeah, I'd be like, now wait a minute, what? Like, what is this tradition about? Like, why aren't you wearing one too? I'm like
It's
a
weird.
little uncomfortable wearing this, especially because, like, maybe I'm a teacher, whatever it is. But um, I
Yeah.
think I would be like, are your parents okay with seeing me wear this? Are they in on it? I
Mhm.
think I would have a lot of
A lot of
questions.
questions. I think realistically, I think the way that I would do it is show up wearing the sweater, do a victory lap around the house. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. All right, I'm taking this thing off now. And then if
Yes.
anybody has a problem past that, we can have a discussion. But
Yeah.
it's yeah, it really depends what freaky shit Santa was getting into on
I
that
know. It
sweater.
definitely depends on what it was. But I think, yeah, you're right. Like going and be like, ha ha, like I'm a good sport, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
take it off.
Is this enough?
Is
Is
this
this enough?
enough?
You really dodged a Christmas bullet on that one.
Yeah, you really did. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. But I think that, yeah, like you were just saying, that maybe this was the fact that he wasn't understanding. I get it if it's like a tradition and whatever. But then once you were showing your uncomfortability around it, he should have been like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's such a weird tradition. I feel like were they gonna like sacrifice her to Krampus or something? This feels there's something so unsettling about this tradition, and like how many partners have been put through this is my other top question after what was Santa doing on the sweater.
I know. I know. Yeah, exactly. Wonder what other images were on there. And it's like maybe this will teach you a lesson to just make it about like a funny ugly sweater and
Yeah.
not something like sexual or weird. They remind me of I'm just always bringing up The Office, I guess. They remind me of Jim's brothers.
I was not going to invoke them, but yes, you're dead on. That is exact.
Right?
That was the first place I went to. Who were two of
Yeah.
my least favorite characters in fiction.
Yes. In fiction, in
Just across the
general.
board.
Yeah. But one of the main characters, for you guys that don't know, he has 2 older brothers and they fucking suck.
They're trash.
Trash, trash, trash. All right. Well, that's it. We just want to do a mini little thing for you. Thank you so much for listening. Happy holidays for whatever you celebrate. Hopefully, you're able to spend some time with your family and friends and just being able to enjoy your time off.
And if you see an elf on the shelf this year, throw it in the trash. Get rid. Big Brother can
Light
go
it
to
on
hell.
fire.
Live free or die. Elf on the Shelf is adhering us to the police state.
Oh.
Wake up, sheeple.
Oh, God. All right. Thank you guys for listening. And remember, you can't spell drama without D.
Or Christmas. Don't fact check that.